Hey, fellow educators, are you looking for a way to maybe spice up your decimal practice? Turn it from a dreaded drill into something a little more dynamic? Well, you are in the right place. Today, we're going to break down a fantastic card game called Three Decimal Jumble that does exactly that.
We've all been there, right? The moment you mention decimals, you can almost feel the energy just seep out of the room. It's the classic decimal dilemma. How do we get students genuinely excited about comparing and ordering these numbers? It can be a real challenge.
But what if we could flip that script? Three Decimal Jumble is a super fast-paced, hands-on card game that gets kids creating, comparing, and really strategizing with decimals. And the best part? They're having fun the whole time. It's such a great way to build that essential number sense.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll quickly touch on the decimal dilemma, then we'll dive right into the setup and the rules of the game. After that, we'll actually watch a round in action, which is the fun part. Then we'll talk about how to really master that math talk, and we'll finish up with some practical tips for your own classroom.
All right, let's jump in. Section 1, Game On, Setup and Rules. You're going to love this, because the best thing about this game is that it is incredibly low prep, but it delivers a really high impact when it comes to student learning.
So what do you need? Just a few basics that you probably already have in your classroom. A standard deck of cards. Just make sure you pull out the tens and the face cards. Oh, and aces count as one. Then you just need a simple game board for each player, a pencil, and a little group of 2 to 4 students. That's it.
The goal of the game is super clear and easy for any kid to get. You want to create the greatest decimal number you possibly can each round. If you do that, you get a point. First person to get to 5 points wins the game. Simple as that.
And playing the game is just as straightforward. So first, everyone just draws a card, and whoever has the highest card gets to start. On your turn, you draw 3 cards from the deck, and your job is to arrange them to make the biggest decimal you can. You jot it down on your game sheet, and then, once everyone's had a turn, you all compare. Whoever has the greatest decimal wins the round. See? Easy peasy.
Okay, now let's see what this actually looks like, because the real magic of this game happens when the kids start talking about their strategies. So let's imagine a quick round between 2 students. We'll call them Leo and Maya.
So, it's Leo's turn. He reaches over, draws 3 cards from the deck, and he gets a 7, a 5, and a 2. He looks at them for a second, thinking about the best way to arrange them to get the biggest number.
And this right here is the gold. Listen to his explanation. He doesn't just say, I got .752. No, he explains his thinking. He says, I made .752 because I wanted the biggest digit, the 7, in the tenths place. He is actually articulating his understanding of place value. This is exactly the kind of math talk we want to hear.
Okay, so Leo's number is on the board. Now it's Maya's turn. She draws her 3 cards, an 8, a 2, and a 1. She takes a quick look at her cards, and then she glances over at the number Leo made.
Now, listen to her reasoning. She says, super confidently, my best number is 0.821. Since my 8 in the tenths place is greater than Leo's 7 in the tenths place, I know my decimal is bigger. You see that? She's not just guessing. She is directly comparing the digits in the most important place value to prove her answer.
And based on that rock-solid reasoning, Maya is totally right. She wins the round, she gets a point. This shows us that the game isn't just about getting it right, it's about being able to prove why you're right.
And that brings us to, honestly, the most important part of the game, mastering the math talk. This whole game is really just a fantastic excuse to get kids having rich conversations about math. Our job is to guide them from just saying what they did to explaining why their strategy actually works.
And we can do that with some really powerful, open-ended questions. Prompts like these ones here really push students to think deeper, asking something like, why does the position of a digit matter so much? Or, can you prove that's the greatest number you could make? That's what gets them to really solidify and explain their understanding.
And this is the kind of reflection we're aiming for. You can totally imagine a student saying this after a few rounds, right? It shows that real shift in their thinking, a true aha moment. They've moved past the common misconception to a much deeper understanding, and it all happened through a simple card game.
Okay, last but not least, let's talk about some tips for your classroom. Because one of the best things about Three Decimal Jumble is just how easy it is to adapt it for every single student in your room.
Differentiation is a breeze. If you need to simplify it, just have students draw 2 cards and work with tenths and hundredths. Easy.
For an extra challenge, have them draw 4 cards to build decimals all the way to the 10,000ths place. You could even get creative and add a rule where they have to, say, add or subtract their decimals for a bonus point.
And because it's so flexible, this game is a perfect fit for pretty much any part of your math block. It works beautifully in math centers, it's great for partner stations, or you could even use it as a quick and fun whole class review right before a test.
So, as you think about bringing this game into your own classroom, I'll leave you with this final thought. It's not just about the numbers your students will build, it's about what they'll say. How will they explain their thinking? How will they prove their understanding to each other? Because that's where the real learning, and honestly, the real fun, truly begins.